How's it, guys? My name is Trilogy. This video today is basically just a little bit of a tutorial on how to get some really nice pictures of custom cars or liveries or even just regular cars in ACC. And this tutorial isn't even actually limited to ACC. You could technically do this in any racing game, even real life cars if you actually wanted to. It's a simple editing tool that we're going to be using today. But I've been looking around YouTube trying to find different types of tutorials and things like that on how to get transparent car pictures from ACC, to put in templates, to put in logos, to put in banners, things like that. So I struggled to find a few, and eventually I just came up with my own way. It's definitely not my way, as in I'm the one who found it. It's definitely been done before. I thought I would just create a video to show you guys how exactly it is, how to do it and how easy it actually is to do. So what I'm talking about is doing something such as this. So as you can see, this car is from ACC. It's just a simple car. It's a livery that I created, and I wanted to extract this livery from the game without having to make a 3D model and load the car onto a 3D model, and instead just rather take the car like this, edit the image, and keep that whole shadow underneath the car. It looks really professional. It still looks high grade. So yeah, I'm gonna show you guys exactly how we're gonna do that. So you're gonna head over to ACC or any game of your choice, and the first thing you're gonna do is, so I personally use Suzuka, but you could technically use any track or map at all in any game. It doesn't matter. The only reason I use Suzuka is because I found a nice little spot to park the car and get nice pictures of it. So essentially just choose any track. We're going to go with Suzuka, and then obviously you're going to choose whatever car that you're going to be taking the photos of today. So we're going to go with this one. This is the KSR Vibe car, edited by someone else. This is not my work, but it's just the car we're going to be demoing on today. And you're going to load into the session. Sweet. So once you've loaded into the session, you can do whatever else you need to, but you're just going to click the drive button. And I'm just using keyboard control, so do not judge the driving. But essentially, you're just going to drive over to the spot that you actually want to go to. So for me, that's going to be, you'll see it up ahead. I'm just going to cut to that. Alrighty then, so should have just cut straight to this, but now this is essentially the spot where I have found that it is best to do this. You can do this anywhere. I just chose somewhere that has not a lot of, polygons and other things in the background that could possibly make it harder to edit. So what you're going to want to do is, just park the car in any way that you want to. So for example, we're just going to reverse this boy up until we are comfortable. So let's say here. And what you're going to do is you're going to press your escape key, and you can click the replay button right over there, right? You're going to skip forwards all the way to the end wherever your car is parked, and you're going to click the F7 key. So the F7 key takes you into free mode, the free camera mode, and then you're going to use your arrow keys to move around. And if the camera is a little bit too slow or too fast, you can use the scroll wheel to adjust speed, like you can see over here. So anyways, if you wanted to know, that is the spot I've chosen on Suzuka. As you can see, it's just a little piece of side road that comes off the main track. But anyways, enough of that. What we're going to do is just slow down the camera a little bit, and you're going to want to get into position of where you want to take the shot of the car. So like we see over here, then you can choose to slow down the camera a bit, get those fine tunings. And like I say, you see quite low poly in the background over there, not too much behind the car that can really interfere. You're going to come right up to the car or wherever you want to, and this is good. It's a pretty good one for me. And what you're going to do is you're going to use whatever screenshot software you have. If you don't have any, you can use your print screen button, which will essentially copy an image, but you'll have to go paste it somewhere. Or if you have something like Radeon Relive or AMD Shadow Experience, then you can essentially use those softwares to screenshot. If you are using Radeon Relive, you can use the shortcut Control-Shift-I, which takes a screenshot and uploads it into your file bank. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And as you can see over there, that's uploaded over there. And now we're going to cut to Photoshop. If you don't have Photoshop, there are a lot of free editors you can use. I think there's one called Photoscape. and there's a lot of other online editors you can also use, but Photoshop is my preferred editor. Alright, sweet. So as you can see now, we are in Photoshop, and we have loaded up the image that we took from ACC. So one thing about the editor that you're gonna use is the tool that I'm gonna be using is this tool right up over here called the polygonal lasso tool. This essentially allows you to shape around images and mask it so that it removes anything else that you didn't select. So the next process is quite a boring little process. It's very tedious. It's essentially what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to completely trace the outline of the car like this, all around the car. Make sure not to exclude the tires. I've done that one time. All around the entire car, like you see over here, all around. And then what you're gonna do is after that you're gonna click the little it looks like a camera or like a little circle in a square. That's the mask button. And essentially I'll do an example. So for example, if we take the lasso tool and we draw a square and I click that button, as you can see, it takes away everything but the square. So I'm gonna fast forward this now while I trace the car, and then once I'm done with that, I will get to the masking. Alrighty then, so we are back. As you can see, we have made a clear mask around the car. It is represented by these dotted lines over here, which shows that the current thing is selected. And as you can see here, going around the tires, making sure to get the spoiler and stuff. Don't worry about the blocks over here of grass and things that we'll get rid of soon. But cool, so now that you've done this process, you're going to click the mask button. But all I'm saying is when you do it, make sure that if you are working with multiple layers, that you have the layer selected that is the actual image. So for example, if I had another layer over here, if I click the mask button now, as you can see, it would not work because I have another layer selected. So make sure you select it on the layer of the car, and when you click the mask button, you'll see the car perfectly masks itself. So now you may be thinking, whoa, this looks a little bit weird. It looks like, the car looks a little bit too thin, the tires, it looks very weird around the edges, and there's gaps missing over here and there. But we'll get to that, don't worry about it. So as you can see over here now, what we're going to do is you're going to get the eraser tool in whatever software you're using. And this is just a quick way to get rid of the excess that is still stuck in between the spoiler over here. So, oh, and I've already made a mistake. So just watch out when you do erase, not to erase any fine details of the car. As you can see, I'm trying to rush it a bit, but cool. This will also be fast forward, and I'll be back once it is done. Alrighty, cool. So I am back. We've now erased away in the excess over there. You can also just fine tune it a bit, so you can see there's still a little bit of green. So you can go over it again just to make sure that nothing is showing, but make sure not to erase too much of the car, otherwise it will start looking a bit deformed. So now I'm gonna use another image that I'll actually put in the link. This is a car shadow, so it's a generic car shadow. So unfortunately it won't be highly realistic with the spoiler displaying in the shade and stuff like that, but it is a pretty self-explanatory car shadow. So that is right over here, and this will be in the description below. So now what we're going to do is you can place it down and make sure to move it below the layer of the car, and you're going to press Control T on your keyboard, and that's going to allow you to go into the transform menu. So now what you're going to do is just maybe increase it a little bit. You want it to be probably as wide as the car. And once you've increased it a little bit, what you're going to do is you're going to right click in the box, and there's a button right over here that says warp. You're going to click that warp button, right? So now this process is essentially pulling and pushing the shadow in different shapes to make it look like it is a part of this car and not just a generic shadow. So this is all about just playing around, and it really does depend on the car you use. So as you can see here, we're going to start pulling and pulling these little dots around to mimic the underneath of the car. So as you can see, that is what we're doing now. I probably won't skip this because it isn't too much of a long process, but you can also fine tune this to however you want it to look. So, if you want a bigger shadow, because, if there's a sun up here or something, you're 100% welcome to do that. But if you don't want to do that, you also don't have to. So that's the only issue with it, is that it may look a little bit weird, as you know, you think, where's the spoiler? There's no spoiler shade. But if you want to do that, you're going to have to, you know, actually make yourself a shadow decal with the spoiler it's included, or you'll have to try and search really hard online to try and find the actual exact shadow of this car in a PNG form. So I unfortunately did not have the time to do that. So grabbing a generic shadow also just works, and it can be used across multiple different cars. So I'm about happy with this, you know, that we can leave it like that. So as you can see, that allows it to look a lot better. You know, those gaps in between the tires over there and there have all been filled in, and you know, it just looks a lot better. So I'm actually gonna, and you can always go back and retune it. Alright guys, and that is it. That is the end of the tutorial. So I hope you did enjoy it, and I hope it was simple enough to follow and understand. And yeah, I'm looking forward to, you know, hoping that you guys can create some amazing designs and things like that. And just a point of word, you saw probably that when I screenshotted this car, there wasn't a lot of shadows. So you can choose to run your ACC at cinematic settings, which is what I usually do. But for the purpose of this video, I just left it on the driving graphics, which kind of dissipate the shadows a little bit just for more FPS. Sometimes that does help with the tracing because there's no shadows underneath the car. But that is completely your choice. So yeah, that is it guys. And there you go. You've got your car in picture form, and now you may go use it on anything you want to. Thank you for watching and have a great day.